Hi, AP Lit. Hope you had a good weekend. Enjoyed some of that wonderful weather we had. Just making a quick tutorial for today's assignment, that is the one for May 6th, just to make sure that you guys all know what I'm asking for and how to do it. So you should be able to access this. I haven't posted this yet, but you should, if you're looking at this video, you've already gotten into the class activity, so that's good. First thing it's going to ask you to do is to get to the assignment Q4SWA, stands for Summative Writing Assessment, which is the revised progress check FRQ assignment. And that's going to be in Google Classroom. So you're going to do that. So where is that? That is in Classwork. It is under Unit 4. And it's the revised progress check FRQ. So that's right here. And you're going to see that here. Okay, so that's step number 1. And you're going to review the prompts. So what I've done is I've copied all of the progress track FRQ prompts for you that you should have seen in AP Classroom if you've been keeping up with that, or even if you haven't, they're all here. So the prompts and the texts are also included. So this is just, it'll help you guys just quickly be able to do this in Google Classroom without having to necessarily log in to AP Classroom every time. And the goal, part of the goal of today, is to get you guys to get all of your work for this assignment into Google Classroom so you don't have to keep going back and forth to AP Classroom. Please note that, especially so with all the FRQs except for the last one, they only asked you for a paragraph. So I have changed the response or changed the prompt to actually ask for a full essay. So it's not just a paragraph anymore. All of these are asking for a fully developed essay. So even if you only wrote a paragraph for the actual progress check FRQ, just know that you will need to develop that into a full essay. All right, so you go through these, just to refresh your recollection, they all refer to the works that are going to be discussed by author's last name and then the title of the work that's excerpted. So we have the McClure, Kincaid, Rogers, Wharton are all here. So you're going to select whichever one you thought, and you can look at my feedback in AP Classroom if you submitted those to see which one you had the best initial response on. That might be a good one to go with because you were already pretty strong. So you have a good footing and probably a good thesis. So that's a good sort of initial indicator. Choose that one, and then you're good for the next step. So choose the one that you want to revise, and then go into AP Classroom and access your response, and then copy that into the template. All right. So first, you do need to go into AP Classroom. So I have all of your stuff. So you guys are going to have a different dashboard than I am, obviously, but you're going to want to get into it. And then I'm just going to choose one at random. I'm going to choose Elizabeth's. And so you should have this, and I'm not going to show her whole response there, but you should have her, your response is going to be in here. You're going to highlight that. You're going to copy it. So for me, that's Apple option, or I should just say Apple C is to copy. For you guys, I think it might be Control if you're on a PC. I'm just going to use Isaiah's, or part of Isaiah's FRQ from his Q3, or I'm sorry, I should say, I think this was this was Q3 FRQ. I'm going to do what you would do for your response in AP Classroom. So I'm going to copy this just as you would if you were in AP Classroom. You're copying your own response, and then you're going back into the summative writing assessment, right? And you should see this template, right? Revised PC FRQ template. You guys are going to have one of these under your work. You're going to click on that. And I'm not going to, if I do that and I copy it in here, it's actually going to change the template. So, but you're going to do that. It should pull up something that looks exactly like this, except it doesn't have copy of in front of it. It has your name and then this, and you can delete template off of that because it's no longer a template once you start actually making your draft. And then you're just going to copy it in. You're going to copy your response in where it says you're going to highlight everything in the brackets, including the brackets, and copy in your response. And then you're good. You basically, this is what you're going to be working off of is this response. And you can refer back to the prompt in the assignment, but this should make it really easy for you guys just to when you want to work on your revised FRQ, you just go to this template, this assignment in Google Classroom, and you're good to go. All right, so you've already copied it in. Now, the activity for today is for you to comment on it with at least 3 questions about how to develop or improve your response. I would, look at my feedback in AP Classroom for your response if you submitted one of those. That would be a good jumping off point for that. If there's anything in there that in my comments or critiques that wasn't clear, ask a question there. That would be a good thing to do. Otherwise, if you haven't developed much of a response yet, you can ask some questions about the prompt and how to get started with it. Maybe if any part of the reading was unclear, you can ask questions like that. Totally fine, but it should be on, I should see something on your template that shows that that you made these questions. So let's take a look at the template. How do you comment, right? And the way that you comment, so let's say if, so this is Isaiah's hook for this. When people mistreat others, is it common for people to act out in some sort of, it's common for people to act out in some sort of revenge. Why is this? All right. And I'm just going to demo what a comment might look like. All right. So there you should see that plus next to the, whatever it is you highlight, you're going to hit plus because you want to make a comment there. And then you can just write whatever it is that your question is about this. And this can count as one of your questions. So, I might say, thinking back to Trimble, which you read, which I think we discussed way at the beginning of the year, right? So he recommends making a forceful statement or using a provocative quote. Does this qualify as a hook or lead he would find adequately engaging? Any thoughts on what I could do instead or alternative? All right, and so this is a question about the hook. I'm just doing this as an example. There may be way more critical pieces of your essay to ask about. So for instance, the thesis, I think, if you've got a question about the thesis, please make sure that one of your questions is about your thesis. Because if there's anything that you're uncertain about with your thesis, that's got to be on your to-do list to get me to answer that and answer it quickly and soon, because the rest of your paper is built on that. So if it's flawed in some way, and I've seen this happen, I'm still seeing it happen with some of these FRQs. If the thesis is fundamentally flawed and you're going to go on and, at least a third of your paper or possibly more is going to be sort of based on at least a piece of that flawed thesis, you're going to have an issue with getting, this could definitely knock you out of the A range, like especially if you've misinterpreted the text in some crucial way. You want to be asking about that thesis, especially if I commented on it in AP Classroom. So please make sure that you do that. But this is how you make these comments. So if I'm this person, I've already got one of mine down. I just need to make 2 more. And remember, even if you don't have much of this drafted yet, you can ask questions about things that maybe you're planning on drafting, or maybe, a question clarifying the prompt for yourself a little bit. I do want to see all these questions that you're making in the template, though. I want to see that you know how to access this, that you're getting into it. And yeah, that's where I'll be looking for giving you those 10 points for doing today's activity. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out by email. Hope you guys are well, and yeah, have a good start to your week.